You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, you know, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
You are tuning in to Goldilocks Productions' presentation of a magical journey show with Reverend Bryan Rawls. Bryan is a certified psychic medium, certified Fairyologist and realm reader, light language channel, extraterrestrial channel, universal channel, certified angelic communicator and facilitator, light code and star chi code activator, certified Reiki master teacher, certified esoteric energetic acupuncturist, a certified sacred activations mastering me practitioner, a multi-dimensional galactic shaman, and a certified witchcraft ceremonial magical practitioner. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 657-383-1895. Press 1 to take you out of listen mode only. Enjoy this magical and healing show.
And good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, everyone. This is your host, Reverend Bryan Rawls, and it is May 3rd of 2017, and we actually have a guest in the house this evening, and he will be sharing his experience about his near-death experience. So hope all of the folks that are wondering about about near-death experiences or anything about working with the death experiences, please do call in. The telephone number is 657-383-1895. And also would like to make a couple announcements before I bring on our guest. His name is Jacob Cooper. We actually are among the Pleiadian lineup here in about 13 days. So I want to make everybody aware of what the Pleiadian lineup is, because a lot of the folks that call in and listen to my show, they will be receiving codes and activations during this time, because it's when the Pleiadians are able to access planet Earth and come back and check on their experiments. So mark your calendars, May 15th through the 20th. All right. So, but before I bring on my guest, I am going to kind of start out tonight with a little bit of light language. And for those of you that do not know what light language is, light language is basically extraterrestrial or Star Nation languages, or actually ancient languages that speak directly to the soul and directly to the DNA. It may sound funny at first, but it allow for it to bypass the monkey mind, because the monkey mind will pick it up and kind of roll it around in circles and basically are asking yourself, is this real? If you do not let it bypass the monkey mind. So just allow for it to bypass the monkey mind. So take a deep breath in, everyone, and the inhale, take a deep breath in.
Denura de shondo para costendo ora satata ime que quara Dorashen equatakin estandu urapatian. Lelorora katu uram hezandu ashta. Grande ekeando urapati asando. Hidura denu ramando uras. Deni asando urasia patais. Denu urandaya de dewa. Promo kokusano urapeti anash. Hidura petenora, dardando urashemina, piazzando urasiaba. Grande vedetun, grande hekata ishta aramasi. Provo kokonoras, mani an aro komokosia. Gendo urapatain etwa.
And take a deep breath in. And just allow for the energy to flow for the rest of the evening. So before we bring on the guests, I want to speak a little bit about him and let everybody know a little bit of who he is and what he does. He has a website. His website is Jacob's Story, and that is www.jacobstory.com. And a little bit about him. Is his name is Jacob Cooper. As I already said, he's been in touch with spirit since a young age, and Jacob is a near-death experience survivor at the age of 5. From this, Jacob has always been open and in touch with the spirit realm. He is inspired to spread his experience and message to others to bring lightness towards death and help others remember their own spiritual truth. Jacob has been a serious seeker of metaphysics since a young age. He has practiced and studied yoga and meditation for many years and has had many life-altering experiences through this. Jacob is a Reiki master teacher and has studied under the intuitive Reverend Pauline Southard and Yvonne Cook, and as well as Reverend Tiffany White Sagewoman, which is the producer of this show. And he has also had training in his own intuitive development from Tiffany and continues to open his abilities. And he is also a certified hypnotherapist. Jacob is an established guest presenter for the Eyes of Learning Metaphysical Center, the Center for Intuitive Arts and Therapies, and within local Long Island libraries and universities. Jacob currently runs mindfulness and hypnotherapy workshops and classes at Adelphi University and other collegiate programs in the tri-state area. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Jacob Cooper. How are you doing, Jacob?
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for having me on and for giving me quite an entertaining introduction here. I can never say that life is boring. That was quite interesting. And, it's an honor to be on your unique program. And, I'm sure viewers are really going to get a unique, different taste tonight with the two energies that we have here present. Various other energies more at hand. So thank you so much for having me on. It's been quite an honor, and I really love your work.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, and thank you for being on the show this evening. So I know a lot of folks are very curious about your near-death experience. So would you like to kind of give maybe like a short version of the experience?
Yeah, sure. I mean, before I do, I could discuss why, I'm discussing it now and why I started, talking about it now. Essentially I work as a therapist, in an agency, and I work there full time. And, throughout my practice, I see a lot of people, they, really struggle with loss and grief and bereavement. And, everyone handles it in a different way, but I think my passion and mission, came from seeing a lot of people who just really are clueless as to what happens when we die. And it's not really provided, to suit people's appetites in organized religion, and it's just not enough. So for me, I had this experience when I was 5 years old, and I didn't think much of it. I thought it was quite cool, but I thought everyone kind of had near-death experiences. It wasn't until I was about 17 or 18 years old where I picked up a book called Embraced by the Light by Betty Adie, who's a well-established near-death experience author and has really paved the way for what happens when we die from her own journey. But for me, that provided to me a diagnosis of what I endured. I had no idea how to label it or what to make of it. So from literature, I was really able to get a better understanding of the magnitude of what I went through. And from that, I was able to understand, through the magnitude of it, I was able to understand the significance of opening up my mouth and discussing it to the public. So I'm very passionate about sharing my story and allowing people to really hear things and experience things that they've already been through. As we've had many lives, we've had many deaths, and this life is just a small snippet of our journey. So it takes a lot of spiritual amnesia away when you have anyone who's been to the other side and back, and creates a lot of universal themes that people know in their souls that happens when we cross over. So I've had it in the physical embodied state, and I hope to share it with all who were meant to hear it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we are very, very much a diverse group here, so we are all ears, all ears. Yeah. No, I know you must attract a lot of different cool people out there, and it's an honor for me to be here. But what I experienced was a really full near-death experience where, I was 5 years old, and at the time I had something what's called whooping cough, which was a very serious cough, and has since been vaccinated. But in the mid-90s, I wasn't vaccinated for it. But I was going to a park, and then all of a sudden, I tried to breathe in air, and then nothing came out, and then I tried again, and then nothing came, and then one by one, every organ of my body just began shutting down, much like a power breaker in a house, and everything was closed off, and I was just left with my brain, which is the last part of my being that I was in. And then, I was able to look through third-person observation at my brain, and I saw every different part and every different functionality of it. And then through a deprivation of oxygen, all of a sudden my brain just literally just cracked in half and split, and kind of made like a crack sound, like a plug pulled out of a wall almost. And then that's when everything began opening like crazy, and I began racing to a tunnel at some insane speed down this dark alley. And then all of a sudden I was put in the light, which is a common phenomenon for many near-death experience survivors. And I could certainly provide a bit of lessons as to why I believe the structure and the portal to the other side is the way that it is. But after that, I was greeted by my two spiritual guides who were with me since takeoff and then beyond. Takeoff as in when you chart your life and you plan everything out, and then you are put into the physical world. And I was greeted by them, and I was, in the back right side of my head, I was vibrating at about 1,000 miles an hour, and that's when I had a large degree of Christ consciousness, and I was able to hear Christ as almost like the voice and whisper of heaven. And in the back of my head, I was able to also see the palace of God, which was like a golden palace right in back of my head, and I knew immediately what it was. It was just so beautiful and so majestic that I just I couldn't even look at it. It was just too powerful. And as I'm going at some insane speed and feeling good where good had no limit, I was just going higher and higher and higher, and eventually I was placed into the angelic realm, where in front of me I saw hundreds upon thousands of angels right in front of me that were just floating up and down, very serenely, very peacefully, right in front of me. And as I was
going down the slide, the angels were just going up and down very softly, and they were just sending energy. And I went to the park that day with a group of people, and they were all hovering around me. And when I looked at the energy of all the people who were around me, I saw that they too had spiritual guides and auras and all these things that I forgot about for my first 5 years of life. So, and then all of a sudden I was able to, look at my Akashic records with my guides and see a couple lifetimes that pertain to this one. And then I was greeted by my own spiritual family, which is my soul family, which, when you pass away, you're with. Those are the people that you incarnate and reincarnate with throughout many lifetimes, and they're a part of your ray of God that you vibrate on. And they're a similar style of divinity that you're with. And, I saw all my members of my soul family. And then all of a sudden I was posed a question as to what I would do if I wanted to stay in the kingdom of God on the other side, or if I wanted to, come back into the physical state. And then, I kind of asked, well, if I were to come back, what would be within this lifetime? What would happen? And I asked my two spiritual entities, which is a male and female energy that I knew instantaneously when I saw them, and they were the most beautiful beings I've ever seen. And in the background, I saw archangels as well within this moment. But after I asked that question, they just, much like when I saw previous lifetimes through various different imagery, I was able to look into the future and peer into the future through flashing images as to what I would do. And then I saw a nice crowd, and I saw, the message that I would be dedicating my life to being presented to participants in the crowd. And I said, you know what, this is a lot bigger than anything out here in heaven. And I decided to turn down heaven, and I came back to earth. And immediately that was one of the most difficult decisions that I had to make, and it was a very quick decision. And I had some doubt. I said, how will I ever reach this vision and this destiny that I want to reach? And my two spiritual guides at the time told me to watch your thoughts, because your thoughts really influence where you go in life and your direction. It's not the be-all, end-all, but it is a part of it. And then after that all vanished on the other side, and I was put back into a hospital bed. And I had my whole life to live with that trauma and great experience as well. So it was pretty cool.
Very interesting, very interesting. And that's very, very, very vivid and very vivid memories, I do have to say. So now when you heard that crack, was that crack of you, that crack of energy, like what they call kind of like a rapport when spirit is entering into this realm, or when spirit is kind of displacing themselves from their from a body?
Well, I mean, to me, I learned a lot about the brain from that experience. I learned, that the brain is just a filter between the two worlds. It's as simple as that. And I mean, people with good filters are able to have a fine balance. People with poor filters or dirty filters are just on one side and forget the other. And they're not as quote-unquote spiritual, but all is spiritual, as I understood from my experience when I looked into the energy fields of everyone who I was surrounded with on that day. We all come from the same phyla and energy, and we all go to the same situation. Some people go to different vibrational frequencies. On the other side, of course, there's different rays of God. But for me, the brain is just it's a mediary between the two worlds. And I think that for me, I devoted my lifetime to really teaching a lot about meditation and mindfulness, as that allows people to really have a clean filter and to be kind of hybrid fused beings. But to me, once my brain kind of snapped off, that's when I was really put into the spiritual. I didn't have that. I wasn't in between. I was all kind of there, So to me, the brain is just simply our last part that separates, that could act as a in-between mediary between the two worlds.
I actually do like that description of the filter between the two worlds, because that kind of that's kind of how I explain the whole monkey mind thing to my clients, because a lot of my clients, when they first start hearing me channeling light language, they're not too sure about it, and then then they have to bypass that with their monkey mind. So I like that. I have to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But so how we basically do a magical journey show here, it's a call-in show. So I have a roll full of callers here that is either dying to ask the question and just wanting to hear your advice about it, because I know you don't do readings or anything in that particular manner, but or they have a question for me, but would you like to take a whack at it?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
That's my greatest joy is to, because as guys, we kind of have blinders on and we only see one thing, but when a question comes in, it allows us to be in a different world and open up our eyes too, so that's pretty cool. Yeah.
There you go. I like that style. So we'll go ahead and take our first phone caller. Now, I'll kind of let you give your advice or give your take on it, and then you can just hand it over to me whenever you're ready to kind of wrap it up, and then I'll wrap it up from there. How about that?
Awesome. That sounds wonderful,
right.
Brian.
All right, perfect. Just wanted to get a game plan before we started taking phone callers. But let's go ahead and take our first phone caller, which is area code 716. Area code 716, please, first name and question.
Hi, Brian. It's Belinda.
Hey, Belinda.
Hi. Good evening to both of you. Happy Wednesday.
Good evening.
Oh, hi. How are you? Just a quick question. Do you have any messages, wonderful messages for me today? Anyone want to come through and give me a little advice?
So, well, Jacob, don't go. Jacob doesn't work like that. But
okay.
Do you have perhaps a different question for him, and I can answer that question when it becomes available for me to answer that question?
I'm just thinking here. Sorry. I don't know quite. Oh, I'm sorry. What to ask? I'm sorry. What about meditation? What about something more to quiet people's minds? Meditation with me seems difficult, and my mind races a lot. And do you have any good tips on meditation?
Yes, absolutely. And I know Brian, really works a lot with meditation in his work. Now, how often do you try to sit down and meditate throughout the week, throughout your day? What does that kind of look like to you?
I am not faithful in meditation, and I'm one of those that try and I'll go in and out of it, if you will, for meditation.
Now, what do you feel is the biggest barrier towards your goals of meditation? What's kind of going on when you're trying to go within that's getting in the way that you feel?
Like just can't quiet the mind, the racing of the mind.
Yeah. I mean, you initially said that. So, of course. I mean, I always think of the snow globe analogy. And if you look at a snow globe, if you kind of shake it up a little bit, the particles start slowing down. So oftentimes, what people try to do is they try to get very still while they're being active. So to me, the way that I work is I believe in shaking up the snow globe or your brain or your body as well, and then allowing everything to kind of slowly settle down. So, if that's some kind of exercise or some, gently shaking your hands or your shoulders or your head, either way, it's about having the particles of the brain, slowly come down, almost like the snow globe. I think when you have a lot of excessive thoughts, it becomes
really
kind of muffled.
resonates.
And a lot of times we fight these thoughts and we get frustrated that we can't control them. So, I think the snow globe analogy works great with meditation. And many of my clients actually bring in that to show them physically. So in order to get into the deeper brainwave state, sometimes you have to just do a little shake-up. And shake-ups allow us to open up and to change, much like any other thing in life. When you think of loss, when you think of something that happened to you, either way, you wouldn't change if you didn't have something that just threw you off. So when you want to change your brain, you kind of have to throw it a curveball and just give it right back what it's given you, if that makes sense, and then allowing stuff to kind of come down.
I love that. That really, really resonates with me. I like that. I was going one way, but you're saying, shake it up and then come down. You know what I mean? Like the snow globe. That really resonates. I like that. Thank you so much.
Well,
that's a really good tip.
Yeah, you got to think kind of out of the box a little bit. And if you want, kind of cool results, you have to try to do a couple of different things. So yeah, see if that resonates, see if that works. Many of my clients that I work with and individually within programs, that's been pretty effective. So, especially where you're located, if, with the brainwave frequencies, depending on your area, if they're very all over the place and scattered, then you're likely to, pick that up. So a lot of it is just tuning it down to get into the third and fourth brainwave states. Meditation, usually its goal is to get in the second and third, creating a nice balance of awareness with relaxation combination. So, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for your advice. Thank you. I like that.
Sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes. Take it well.
Thank you.
you.
I will try
also,
that, definitely.
There's another way. You can put you a glass plate between your feet and then hold like some marbles or maybe a skeleton key and fall asleep. And because that moment between wake and sleep or wake and deep sleep, that's the most vivid imagery that you're going to receive. All right. And that imagery right there, once you get ready to fall asleep, you're going to drop those marbles out of your hand, and it's going to make that loud clashing sound, and you're going to wake up and remember those visions. So you can do that as well.
Oh, I like that too. Yeah, I like that too. Because I get a lot of visions and things when I just, in the morning when you're just about to wake up, and boom, 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 you're always hit with a lot of info. Thank you so much.
Exactly. And plus, and normally it's because you don't bring yourself into your body. One of the messages that they wanted me to bring to you is a little exercise that you can use with a rubber band. All right, and it's called. It's basically a little, I guess you would say, crazy in a sense, but it's bringing pain to the body to bring yourself back into the body. So put you a rubber band around your wrist, and when you feel like you're ungrounded and all that good stuff, you pop that rubber band, and you'll bring yourself back into the body by that pain.
I like that too. Yeah, that's a really good one too. Wow, I'm getting great tips from you guys tonight.
Once you enter back into the body, that's when you have more of embodying your power. Okay,
wow.
Make sure you embody your power, Belinda, because you got this. You got this.
Oh, thank you, and have a good night, both of you. Thank you so much for all your advice.
Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you for
calling.
Have
a great
in.
Night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, sweetie. Okay, so that was our lovely Belinda, and so that's kind of kind of the messages or kind of the questions we get, Jacob. So I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and take our next phone caller, and our next phone caller is 856. Area code 856, first name and question, please.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Jacob. This is Laura.
Hey, Laura. How are you?
I'm good. My question, I would like to know what you see for me coming up with a career move this year that might be able to propel me into getting my own home as well.
So do you, okay. Jacob, do you have any possibly advice for her?
Here and there I get some stuff, but is there just education? What's with education? I don't know. I'm just seeing education.
Well, I am in training and development.
I'm sorry? Oh, so I'm saying
that might be the education that you're picking up. Maybe.
And are you getting a degree in something, or you're debate? Okay.
Okay, so Laura, what I pick up here, sweetheart, is there's a lot of change right around August, September for you, and this change can happen earlier if you allow it to happen earlier. It's more along the lines of why are you holding yourself back? What are you afraid of stepping forward for? I hear I can't do this by myself.
Oh, I don't know. What are they talking about, Brian? Are they ask them to elaborate?
Okay. Let's see. All right, so this is either a program or this is a past life memory of you doing this basically by yourself, or you feel like you're in this by yourself, or you feel like you're in this game by yourself. Does that make sense to you?
Well, I am. Yeah, I am, though. I don't feel like I have any support.
You don't feel like you have any support. All right, so with support energy. Now, with the support energy, I see that there's some possibilities for some support coming in forms of relationship right around June, July. All right, now that's going to be totally up to you. Because you're going to have to allow for yourself to experience this. It's almost like I get a sense of shyness. Now, are you shy?
Yes. Well,
okay.
With certain things. Well, with regards to romance. But
okay,
I'm
so
not shy when it comes to other things because I'm very...
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do what you call a heart reconnection activation, all right? And this is going to help you connect back to your heart chakra, all right? You have, your heart chakra has came out of alignment, and your symbology point is way off. And your symbology point is right at like a 45 to a 50-degree angle. Now, take deep breaths in. In.
Denduras, dendo Bogota, Pandu Urandina, Dendo Uras, Dando Ukosamati Ande, Dendo Uras. Ignora Shendo Uram, Bedrondo Urase Atayin. Ed ate arasha no okatar, promokoti an ay, ni alaram imeketur, dambo kosaro okototaish, randi anayo tora samakye, prokanahin lakiandor, kinaktu anar kwakatain un, linda roboko sor itapasando, Rande tu nashande elevati akastun. Trindika du ura kataram esto ura patai. Idura shemba na stor ina kata inu ura. Tendo oram akasoro uri ishta. Trine eketu an anaro. Trine esanu okopata. Lenor ona lati. Nano arash. Dedu urastum. Rine ketua. Randa kayete eli. Provo okosanu uramina asatwa. Dando urash enwa.
And deep breath in and bring that energy up and through your root chakra, your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, down into your well of dreams at the back of the head, up and out the crown chakra, doubling back into the fourth eye where your head was soft when you were a baby, beaming down into the pineal gland, all the way down the Shoshana, activating the 8-cell blueprint at the perineum. And take deep breaths in. All right, Laura, that's going to probably take you about anywhere from 4 to 6 hours for it to fully integrate, and just take deep breaths in. Okay?
Thanks, Brian. And you said somewhere around August or September there'll be some kind of a career change for me, right?
Yes, August, September, October, but you got those 3 months as your window time. And then, like I said, June, July, as in relationship. Something's coming in around June, July for relationship, and it's almost like I almost want to say soulmate, because it kind of brings that all warm and comfy inside feeling to me.
Oh, wow. Okay, that would be great. I'll look for that to happen then in June and July, but I'm definitely looking for a change in career or career improvement. So that's...
Well, I will definitely put in my nightly prayers and morning prayers, I will definitely make sure I put your name in my prayer box for you.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks, Jake.
You're very welcome.
Both of you have a good night.
You too, sweetie.
Bye.
Okay. So, Jacob, am I blowing your mind?
This is all very interesting stuff. Yes, it's different.
Okay, okay, so we have a next phone caller, and our next phone caller is area code 216. Area code 216, first name and question, please.
Hi, it's Jennifer, and I actually have a question for Jacob.
Perfect.
Hi, Jennifer.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were talking about your near-death experience, I'm not sure how to ask, but it was kind of confusing. In a sense, if you were 5. So I guess I want to know a little bit more about, in a basic sense, what you had gone through.
What are you confused about?
Because you had, as far as angelic guides and auras and.
Yeah. Okay. Those were all present, when I crossed over. Sure. Or are you confused as to how I remember this since I was 5? How would I know this when I was 5? I'm just trying to understand the nature of the question.
I guess just in a simpler detail, how you experience it. It's
well, the
way that it was explained, it was almost kind of confusing because it was about your brain function and that, and I understand what you had said about as you got older, it made sense. So I guess what I'm asking is, when you were 5, what did you experience? Like, what do you remember of that part?
Well, Jennifer, the same exact wording that I use today is exactly what happened then. Essentially, when you're out of your disembodied state, you enter your soul, which is timeless. So that's not trapped in the 5-year-old, kid that I was. So I was a lot more expanded in my understanding, and I was, put into my soul, which, is a lot greater than 5 years old. So whatever I say today is exactly verbatim what I experienced. The issue that I had was my physical body and my soul weren't in parallel, meaning that when you grow up, your physical body and soul kind of mesh together. But when you're young, they're kind of not in harmony, So, that's why it was very hard to verbalize what I went through, because while I knew it within my soul, I wasn't really able to verbalize it until I became kind of older. So that's as best as I can answer your question at this time. I hope that makes sense.
It does. And then my next question I would have for you, if it's appropriate, is
okay.
If you can go back that far, what you physically saw.
What I physically saw were, like I said, thousands of angels, spirit guides, my soul family and their disembodied states, to name a few. So that's kind of what I physically saw, as well as the palace of God behind my right head. So those are the things that I kind of physically saw that I spoke about earlier, to name a few.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Hope that answers a few questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now, do you have any questions for me, Jennifer?
My question would be, my near-death experience was extremely different. I had saw myself out of my body, and I saw everything that was going on around me. I don't know if everybody's experience is different.
We all have different experiences. We all have different experiences, and it really depends on how really a person is visually inclined, because some of us we don't remember our NDE, because half the times we're either abducted or we're encapsulated by a protective casing where it doesn't allow us to basically remember. It gets compartmentalized within our brain, and sometimes therapy has to bring it out. And that's really, it really just depends on the particular person and how visual and how, I guess you would say, sensory capable they are. I mean, I've had 2 near-death experiences, and I remember half of one, and I don't remember the other, because the one that I don't remember, I was actually abducted by aliens during that one. And yeah, some crazy shit.
Right? Well, mine was, like I said, mine was very different. I saw my heart stop. I was watching everybody around me. I could hear all of the conversation that was going on. I could see what they were doing to me. So that's where my confusion lied, and I guess I didn't fully understand, and I am a spiritual person. So maybe it just wasn't my time to see anything but myself.
Well, do know we all have many all have many exit points within our chart, and it's with the many exit points that we have in our chart, we don't have an expiration date on the bottom of our foot, so nobody knows really when we're going to go out of the body and stay out of the body, because in all due respect to both of y'all, I know from mine that I was basically the half one that I remembered is basically me basically seeing I being and then automatically jolting back in my body, and that was it. That's all I remembered. And I mean, I wish I could see very detailed in as what y'all saw, but I have to say, I guess my visions don't work like that, because I mean, maybe my clairvoyance, how my clairvoyance works here in the physical now, I see both inside my mind and outside my body. So I guess that's how it works. I mean, it all depends on how we're all wired differently, and as we're wired differently, we all play the game differently. Because that's what this earth is a big video game, people. Make sure y'all kick ass in this video game.
And I agree with that, and I appreciate both of your inputs, obviously.
Well, thank you for calling in, Jennifer, and asking those questions and enlightening us today. And thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and I hope you guys both enjoy your night.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Much love.
Thank you. Much love.
Okay, so we are going to take our last phone caller as our last phone caller of the night, and area code 203.
Hi, this is Michelle.
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Good. I hope you can hear me because I'm in a grocery store. So I am looking to change my job and move out of the area, and consequently I've got some irons in the fire, various parts of the country. And I want to make the best decision possible because it affects my daughter's life and my life and future, everything. So I was wondering if you had anything on that for me. I can tell you where the potential jobs are right now.
Okay, is there two? Actually,
two.
Three.
Okay, yeah.
There's three here. And the second one that you heard about and the second one that you received information about is the one that you need to choose. And I kind of feel as if this is on, the second one is, if I'm not mistaken, and if I'm hearing this right, here it's on the East Coast.
Okay. I was thinking this, it's hard to know what's second, first, whatever, but I think there's one on the East Coast, yeah, in Lexington.
All right, well, it's the one on the East Coast is what I heard.
Oh,
okay. And the one on the East Coast is what I heard, and but is it the second one? that you heard about first time? Or
it's hard to know.
time?
Like there was one that I thought I was going to get that I didn't get, and so maybe this is the second in a way. But the ones on the table right now, I would have considered that the first, but it's not like it's the first that I was thinking.
Okay, well, the one on in Lexington, Mass. is the one on the East Coast one. Go for the East Coast one.
So that's the one. That's the only one I should really be thinking of considering.
That's the one that I see that is your best possible outcome. Okay. Now you do have one that could approach into your perception of your best possible outcome, but I see that you need to stick with the mass one.
Okay. Well, that answers
right.
it, and I'm assuming it's going to come fairly soon, next few weeks.
Yes, I do feel as if it's going to come before May's up.
Nice. All right, because it affects my daughter.
I see right around May 28th. I see right about May 28th, maybe May 27th, May 28th.
There's the question of college for my daughter and which college to go to and whether she should be staying overnight at the college or trying to commute from home. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I am seeing that she is going to be sleeping over at college, and it's going to allow for the bills that are on you to be much more easier for you to manage.
What did you say about her? She's going to be living...
I see her sleeping on campus.
Yeah, I didn't anticipate that, but it looks like that might happen.
Yeah, I see her sleeping on campus because it's going to allow for you to be able to take care of yourself, more efficiently.
God, I hate that though.
Yes, but do know children always come back home to visit.
Oh my God.
I do also feel as if there's a little bit of a independence energy that needs to go on here because I feel as if both of you are dependent of one another.
Oh no. That's true.
Okay, so I really highly feel as if this is a good move for you, as far as like allowing her to kind of clip that umbilical cord, if so to speak.
Okay.
I know it's have empty nest syndrome for a little bit, but hey. Would you rather her be totally lost when the time comes when you do I guess you would say do pass away, or would you rather her go ahead and be knowledgeable of what's to come?
Right. All right.
There you go.
So one college is a little bit like north, and one is a little bit south of where my job would be.
This is the south one.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
This feels to me like this is the south one, sweetie.
Wow.
It feels to me like this is the south one, south from where you'll be working.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome, dear, and thank you so much for calling in this evening. You have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye. Okay, Jacob, so I absolutely had a wonderful time listening to your near-death experience and your participation with the callers. It was very wonderful having you on the show this evening. And would you like to give your contact information or possibly your upcoming events if folks want to come out and see you or hear you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. If people are interested in, hearing about my upcoming events, you could look me up on my website at www.jacobstory.com. It's JACOBSTORY.com. And I'm also going to be presenting at the International Association for Near-Death Studies out in August. So you'll see plenty of different near-death experiences. People have had near-death experiences, and, they selected me as one of the presenters, which is great, and many different angles as to what happens when we die to all broaden people's understanding as to what's to come in the hereafter by hearing, a couple different cool presenters. I'm going to be joined by Dr. Eben Alexander and a couple other, big names within the field, and it's quite an honor. So it's going to be pretty cool. So that's something that I'm excited for. And of course, I'm going to be running a lot of, meditation programs within colleges over the summertime and doing a lot of guest lectures, programs, working with other people within the field as well to kind of do an afterlife synopsis type program. So a lot of stuff to come, but surely an honor to be on your show, Bryan, and thank you for having me on as a guest.
Well, thank you so much, Jacob, for being a guest on the Magical Journey show. And for all the folks that would like to check more about me, you can just go to my website at www.magicaljourney.com. You can also check out my blog at www.bryanrawls.com, BRYANRAWLS. And you can also call the office at 586-659-9620. And thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is Reverend Bryan Rawls with A Magical Journey. Y'all have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Napa know-how. A Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, waterbed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how.